Hello everyone, welcome to GS Core. I am Krishna Gupta. So this is the one day one answer initiative. Okay, so here what we'll be saying that we'll be trying to discuss certain questions which are very much important from the perspective of UPSC examination. So moving to the question of today's, that is explain the mechanism and occurrence of cloudburst in the context of the Indian subcontinent. Okay, so we have certain key terms here: mechanism and occurrences of the cloudburst, that is the first term. Then second is the Indian subcontinent, and we need to discuss it with the two recent examples, that is the important part here. Now, first is what is the cloudburst? Cloudburst, if we see, it has been defined by Indian Meteorological Department. Okay, it has been defined by Indian Meteorological Department that whenever the rainfall occurs, which is almost 100 mm, within few hours, 100 mm within few hours, such type of condition of high rainfall, such type of high precipitation condition, it is called as cloud burst. This is called as cloudburst. Okay, now when we talk about the cloudburst conditions, cloudburst can happen because of the various conditions. For example, because of the occurrences of the thunderstorms, because of the thunderstorms. Okay, second thing we can say that is the orographic lift. Orographic lift. Mainly the orographic lift is one of the important conditions or criteria for the formation of the cloudburst. Okay, it is the very basic condition for the reason for the cloudburst. Now, basically what happens, this is a mountain. This is a mountain. So here what we see that the warm and moist air, the warm and moist air, it ascends. It ascends, and while ascending it results into the formation of clouds. While ascending, it results into the formation of clouds. So it results into the formation of clouds simultaneously because of the friction which is caused between the clouds and the mountains. Okay, the mountain rocks and the clouds, it results into the precipitation. But one thing happens here, one important phenomena happens here, that is the force which is provided by this warm and moist air. The force which is provided by this warm and moist air, it is very high. It is very high. Thus, it results into the simultaneous upliftment of the clouds, and it results into the accumulation of moisture. It results into accumulation of moisture, and this high force which is being provided by the lifting part, it does not allow the moisture to shed. It does not allow the moisture to shed towards the lower regions. So we see that after reaching a certain level of height, here when the saturation occurs, here the amount of moisture which is present over these clouds, the amount of moisture which is present over these clouds, it is very high. It is very high. Thus it results into the very high precipitation in a very short period of time. This phenomena is called as the cloudburst. This cloudburst phenomena, it is very highly, we can say that it is prevalent in the region of Himalayan region and also in the Western Ghats region. So here we see that apart from the thunderstorms, the orographic lift, which is the main part which results into the cloudburst, it is very important to understand this phenomena, that how the uplifting of the clouds takes place, how the precipitation at the lower region of the mountains, it does not occur, and how the accumulation of moisture, it takes place with the rising of the clouds and the rising of the moisture. So here we have seen that the mechanism of the cloudburst. Now the occurrences of cloudburst, we can see that if you see, this is the map of India. Okay, in the concept part, I am drawing the map of India. So here we have the Himalayan region. Okay, we have the Himalayan region in this part, and we have the Western Ghats region. Okay, certain part of Aravallis. So here we see that there is occurrences of thunderstorms is also taking place, and because of the presence of these mountains, certain part of the Eastern Ghats also, but majorly it is the Himalayas and the Western Ghats, where say the clouds burst is a quite frequent phenomena. In these regions, we see the cloud burst is quite frequent phenomena. Cloudburst is quite frequent phenomena. So here we see that the occurrences of cloudburst, it is quite common in these particular regions of India when we are talking about the Indian subcontinent. Now when we are talking about the formation of thunderstorms we see that it is normally formed in the pre-monsoon period. Okay, it is highly we can say that it is highly prevalent in the pre-monsoon period. Then, because of the orographic lift, during the complete tenure of monsoon, that is the southwest monsoon season. That is the southwest monsoon season. There is prevalence of this orographic lift, and it is resulting into the formation of the cloudburst at the mountainous regions. Sometimes it is also present in the post monsoon period. It is also occurring in the post monsoon period. So these are the main occurrences of the cloudburst over the region. So here we see that the monsoon and the formation of the cloudburst, it is also quite interrelated. So what we see here that if we take the examples, the recent examples when we talk about, so in the Uttarakhand district, in the Uttarakhand state, Chamoli district, in Uttarakhand in 2023. There was a very important cloudburst has taken place, which has resulted into the loss of life and loss of property and damage of property also in a very short period of time. Nextly, we see that during the Amarnath Yatra in the region of Jammu and Kashmir in the year of 2022. It has also resulted into the cloudburst conditions, which has also resulted into very high mortality and very high, we can say that the issues was so much high that the people were quite obstructed for a certain period of time at certain regions only. So a large amount of health, food and medicines were supplied to certain regions of the Jammu and Kashmir region of the Amarnath part. So here we see that why these conditions are getting prevailed right now. Why these conditions are getting prevailed right now? The cloudburst conditions are increasing in the contemporary time. Why this is happening? This is happening because of the increased climate change. So how we can substantiate this? This can be substantiated with the IPCC report, okay, which has provided that the amount of heat which is present in the atmosphere is increasing, which can be seen in terms of increased temperatures, that is 1.1 degrees Celsius has been increased from the pre-industrial era. So because of these conditions, the thunderstorms and the formation of the clouds or the upliftment of the clouds and the provision of the moisture, it has increased in the contemporary time, which has increased the frequency, of the occurrences of the cloudburst in the recent periods, okay, which has increased the occurrences of the cloudburst in the recent periods. A similar kind of report has also been substantiated by the Indian Meteorological Department, where the frequent and more cloudbursts have been seen in the Himalayan regions in the Himalayan regions of India and the coastal regions of India, including Gujarat also. So here we see that how we can overcome such kind of disasters such as cloudburst which is taking place in India. So we need to have a disaster management and preparedness. We need to have a disaster management and disaster preparedness. For this, we can use early warning systems. Early warning systems, for example, Doppler effect. Doppler effect, it is able to assess the amount of moisture which is present over the clouds. So it can be used, the number of Doppler instruments uh, which are uh, which are implemented or which are instrumented in the Himalayan regions or the Western Ghat region, they are quite less. So we need to increase the number of instruments of the Doppler effect so that a better early warning system can be predicted. Along with it, we can also see that certain efficient communication technologies can be used. Better communication systems can be implemented so that it can give early warning, or it can give people the early warning about the occurrences of the cloudburst phenomena. Third thing we can see here, that the better use of the remote sensing system. The better use of the remote sensing system through the satellite imagery, which will help in the movement of the better movement of the clouds, and it will help in the mapping of the clouds, that how the clouds are resulting into the formation of these conditions where cloudburst can occur. So here an increased focus on disaster resilient infrastructure can be used in the hilly and plain areas. It can be done in the hilly regions, which is very much important, and it is required right now. So here such kind of management programs and regulations can also be it is also being provided right now. So this is very much implemented by the NDMS guidelines on the management of landslides and avalanches in 2009, where the monitoring systems, awareness programs, and better land use planning, they have been implemented, especially in the hilly regions which are very highly prone to the cloudburst, because cloudburst is one such phenomena which triggers one conditions of the landslides, which triggers the conditions of the landslides in the Himalayan region, also in the Western Ghats regions of India. Okay, so here we can see the on the map of India that where the cloudburst systems are quite highly prevalent, and in India basically we can see that towards the coastal regions and towards the Himalayan regions, we can see the increased number of landslide is taking place because of the climate change. So these are part of the concepts, and it can be structured in a very well manner with intro about the definition of cloudburst. Okay, cloudburst. Second thing we can see here, that the occurrences of cloudburst and mechanism. Then the occurrences of cloudburst. We can provide map of India, where we are signifying that what are the regions which are prone to the cloudburst. In the mechanisms, which here we can provide the different conditions which are causing the cloudburst, for example thunderstorms, and also the orographic lift. So here the first condition of thunderstorm and the second condition of orographic lift, it can be provided here, okay, in the mechanism, and both can be explained in the short term. Okay, after this we need to provide the body part, where certain part of body part is also being included here, but we can here include the part of the disaster resilience. Okay, we can include the part of disaster resilience, where we are seeing the forecasting methods, okay, like Doppler effect, Okay, second thing, communication. Third thing, here we are saying that the use of the remote sensing system. And fourth thing, we are saying that the public awareness. The public awareness, it can also be included here. Here we can give examples, okay, of Uttarakhand and Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, Uttarakhand of Chamoli district and Jammu and Kashmir of Amarnath. Okay, so these are the two examples which we can give here. Then we can give the disaster resilience and how this disaster resilience it can be improved. Okay, how it can be, third part, how it can be improved and how it can be made better. How it can be made better. Then we can conclude here. We can conclude here with the disaster management and how this is compliant to the Sendai framework, how the NDMA, the National Disaster Management Authority, it is working towards the better management of the disaster resilience system, and they are working for the disaster management and infrastructure, and they will result into the better management of disaster at times of the disaster such as the cloudburst. So it can be provided here. The conclusion may also include the part of the NDMA guidelines where the management of the landslides and avalanches was formulated in 2009. So NDMA guidelines, it can also be provided here. So this will be the basic structure of the answer with the concepts which are provided below. Okay, so guys, this was the basic one day one answer program on the phenomena of cloudburst and its occurrences and its example in subcontinental part of India. Two examples we have seen here. So guys, thank you. See you in the mentorship session.